Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful new channel for getting high-quality traffic, one that a lot of your competitors probably aren't even thinking about yet. We're talking about a huge shift in how people look for information online, moving way beyond just keywords to something a whole lot more direct.
For years, the entire digital marketing world has basically revolved around one single question: how do we rank on Google? But right now, that whole landscape is going through a massive shakeup. A completely new kind of search is popping up, and it values getting a direct answer way more than just getting a long list of links.
So think about it like this. Until very recently, we had two totally separate models. You had your traditional search engines, like Google. They go out, crawl the live web, and they come back with a list of links for you to check out. Then, on the other side, you've got conversational AIs like ChatGPT. They use a fixed, pre-trained set of data to just give you a single, straight-up answer. Both are useful, but they both have their limits.
But what if you could combine the best of both worlds? What if you could get the real-time, up-to-the-minute accuracy of a search engine, but with the conversational power of an AI? Well, that's exactly where this new hybrid model comes in.
And this is where a tool called Perplexity AI enters the picture. You should think of it less like a search engine and more like an answer engine. It works like this. It takes your question, it scours the current web for the best, most relevant info, and then it uses AI to craft a single conversational answer. And, this is the key part, it includes citations that link right back to the original sources.
Okay, so it's a new tool, it's cool, it's interesting, but if you're a business or a content creator, why should you actually care? What is it about the traffic that comes from a platform like this that makes it so valuable?
All right, here's the most important part. The traffic you get from Perplexity has incredibly high intent. See, users on here aren't just typing in vague keywords and browsing around. No, they're asking really specific, detailed questions. That means they are way further along in their journey to either learn something or to make a purchase. So when your content shows up as the definitive answer they were looking for, you get a visitor who is already highly qualified.
So, the big question is, how do you get your content cited by Perplexity so you can capture all this amazing traffic? Well, it's not about the old-school SEO tricks you might be used to. It's actually about a pretty clear and specific formula for how you structure your content. Believe it or not, the formula for success here is super simple. Your content just needs to follow these 3 steps. Start with the user's question. Give them a direct and clear answer, and then back it all up with credible evidence. That's it. Question, answer, evidence. This QAE format is just perfectly designed for an answer engine to understand what you're saying, and, more importantly, to trust it.
Let's make this a little more real. Say you're in the Dubai real estate market. Instead of targeting a super broad keyword like Dubai property, you should be creating content that directly answers these kinds of conversational questions. Things like, what are the best neighborhoods to buy a villa? Or where's the best place to buy land? Or what are the top 3 investments I can make for under 2 million AED? Each one of these could be its own dedicated, super helpful article.
Now, this whole approach also applies to your headlines. A plain, boring title like, Tips to Buy a Villa in Dubai, just feels like you're reading a manual. But a conversational headline, something like, Thinking about buying a villa in Dubai? Here's what you should know. Well, that feels like you're reading the user's mind and starting a conversation. And that's exactly what these new platforms are designed to do.
And please remember, structure is absolutely key here. Don't just throw a giant wall of text to people. You've got to break up your articles into logical chunks using clear, descriptive subheadings. This makes your content way easier for a human to scan, and just as important, it makes it super easy for an AI to understand the key points you're trying to make.
Now, Perplexity, like any good researcher, is naturally a little skeptical. It's not going to cite just anyone. It really needs to trust your content. So let's talk about a few really powerful ways you can build that digital authority.
AI loves original data. Why? Because it's unique, it's citable, and it shows you're doing real work. You could run a simple poll on your social media, conduct a small survey, or even just analyze your own customer data. Any of that can generate original content that positions you as a primary source of information.
And just as important, you absolutely have to back up your own claims with evidence from other authoritative sources. Citing things like official government data from the Dubai Land Department, industry reports from places like Statista, or even data from Google Trends. It shows that your answer isn't just an opinion. It's grounded in fact. And for building credibility, this is completely non-negotiable.
All right, let's tie this all together. At the end of the day, the goal here isn't just to get random clicks. The goal is to attract the right audience. The people who have a real problem that you can solve and who are actually ready to take that next step.
Just look at the difference here. A general query like top 10 places to invest in Dubai is for a browser, right? Someone who's just kind of curious. But a query like top 3 places to invest in Dubai under 2 million AED, now that's from a buyer. They have a specific budget. They have a clear goal. By creating content that answers these high-intent questions, you filter out all the casual traffic and you attract serious prospects.
So what this really all comes down to is a pivot from quantity to quality. Yeah, you might get fewer total visitors than you would from a broad Google keyword, but the visitors you do get are going to be so much more engaged, more qualified, and way more likely to convert.
You know, this whole shift towards answer engines is really just bringing us back to a fundamental truth. Serve the user first. Instead of trying to game an algorithm with a bunch of keywords, you're focusing on providing the absolute best answer to a real person's real question. And that's a strategy that's going to win no matter how the technology changes. So the real question you need to ask yourself is this: is your content built to answer questions,